The M3 MacBook Pro is causing quite a stir since its grand reveal at Apple's Scary Fast event. Some folks are going all in, proclaiming it to be ultimate laptop. I mean, it's got that blazing speed thanks to the new M3 chip, a generous 512 gigs of storage, a mind-blowing XDR display. And let's not forget the price, it's just $1,599, which is $400 less than what a standard 14-inch MacBook Pro would set you back. But hold on a sec, there's another side to this story. Some more level-headed individuals are raising the flag and pointing out potential long-term problems you might face with this device. Let's dive into the nitty-gritty to see if this MacBook Pro is all it's cracked up to be. Now let's tackle the first issue that's been buzzing around town. The base model's 8 gigs of RAM. I get it, it's a base model, so our expectations shouldn't be through the roof. But here's the thing, despite that $400 price drop compared to the previous 14-inch MacBook Pro, is it really any cheaper? Let's unravel this. I mean, don't get me wrong, 8 gigs of RAM is perfectly fine for everyday stuff like writing, browsing the internet, hopping on Zoom calls, and all that jazz. So if you're into just the basics camp, 8 gigs won't cramp your style. But let's be real here. Unless you're swimming in a sea of cash and throw bills at your gadgets just for fun, most of us aren't here for the basics. We want some serious bang for our buck, right? Maybe you're into graphic design, video editing, or coding, and all of those appetizing tasks. Yeah, they'll need more RAM, quite a bit more. Now I know we're talking about the base model here, you might think I'm going a bit overboard. But hang on a second. It's 2023, almost 2024. In an era where web browsers alone can devour gigabytes of your precious RAM and artificial intelligence is spreading its digital wings, Apple seems oddly adamant about keeping those baseline specs low in certain products. Cue flashbacks to the iPhones with 8 gigs of storage. And now it looks like the new MacBook Pro might be caught in the same web of modesty. Honestly, in this day and age, it wouldn't hurt to loosen the reins a bit. Who's with me on this one? Let's be real here, most of us don't buy a MacBook with plans to replace it the very next year. No, we're in it for the long haul, aiming to keep these sleek machines in our lives for at least a good couple of years. Now with just 8 gigs of RAM, you're going to hit the limits faster than you'd expect. Trust me, it'll happen quicker than you can say upgrade. Thankfully, Apple allows for RAM upgrades, which is a plus. But hold on a sec. This leads me to my next point, the pricing. Apple slashed the base price, but did they really? Upgrading to 16 gigs of RAM, which essentially doubles your memory capacity, will set you back an extra $200. And if you're feeling fancy and want to kick it up to 24 gigs of RAM, that's another $200, bringing it right back to the price point of the old M2 14-inch MacBook Pro. Now let's get real here. Opting for the M2 MacBook Pro isn't as crazy as it might initially sound. And that's kind of a letdown, but it's the honest truth. Consider this. When you put the M3 Pro head-to-head with a refurbished 14-inch M2 MacBook Pro, both of which having that $1,599 price tag, it's not all sunshine and rainbows for the M3. The M3 Pro comes with fewer GPU cores, just 10 compared to the M2 Pro's 16. You'd think for the same price they'd be a bit more generous, right? But that's not all. The M3 Pro also packs less RAM under the hood despite sharing the same price tag. And when it comes to CPU cores, the M3 falls short, sporting 8 cores compared to the M2 Pro's 10. Truth be told, the M2 Pro's cores are likely on par or might even outshine the M3's base cores. All of this is crammed into the same sleek body, though it does have one less USB-C port, with the features of the M2 Pro 14-inch MacBook Pro. And let's not forget that the M2 Pro is rocking Thunderbolt 4 ports, whereas the M3, Thunderbolt 3. It's a bit perplexing how Apple didn't make a bigger fuss about that in their keynote, especially considering they both cost the same $1,600 in the Apple refurbished store, with potentially even better discounts on the horizon. And there you have it, that's a wrap for today's video. Now here's where you come in. Drop your thoughts in the comments section. Do you think I might be slightly overreacting with the points made in this video, or do you believe they're perfectly valid concerns to consider? Also the big question, are you considering purchasing this new M3 MacBook Pro? Your insights and opinions matter, so please share away. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, we'll catch you in the next one.